Okay, did you believe me when I said I was going to be back? I was going to do this weekly. Did you believe me? Bet you didn't. Guess who's laughing now? I don't know, because it's not me. But I'm back. That weird guy in his 40s. Trying to make a show with his AI chatbot buddy. Say hi, chatbot buddy. He can't say hi. But yeah, I'm back with another attempt at this. A dumb test slate. Dumb test slate idea. So, me and the chatbot, we're going to try to make a TV show. That's what we're doing every week. Or however long I remember to do this. Because he better have a good memory, because I do not. But this week, when I was thinking about shows leading up to this, I was like, thinking about old shows. One of my favorite things to do on YouTube. Sorry if you can hear my phone buzzing. If this mic is good enough to pick that up, sorry. I turned the sound off, but it's still buzzing. That's one of my favorite YouTube rabbit holes to go down on. Not go down on. No. That was chatbot. Back up. One of my favorite things to do on YouTube is go down rabbit holes of like random information. Like, I'll listen to a podcast about a serial killer and then I'll go home and I have to look up everything about them. And that leads me down the weird like information rabbit holes. But one of the ones I get caught up on YouTube, that's what I was talking about, are like vintage and retro commercials. For some reason, I don't know. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, so I have that nostalgia for that era. And like I randomly watch like, it'll be old commercials for toys and video games and random shows I forgot about, and made for TV movies. There's a lot of those commercials out there. But it got me thinking of like, for this show, to come up with an idea that's super specific, because there was a commercial that made me realize something. For some reason, in the 80s and 90s, maybe this is my nostalgia just playing up, that like it felt like there was this really specific genre of sitcom, but it was like Sci-fi Family sitcom. Like there was a family sitcom, like a Usual, Full House, all that stuff, TGIF, family sitcom, but there was like a sci-fi element. If you're old enough to remember, like I do, so I looked up a list of them. These are the ones I remembered and I had to look up more about. There was one called Small Wonder. This one might be too niche because this was like early 80s or mid 80s. It was like a regular family sitcom, but the father was an inventor or a scientist. And he created this thing, like looked like a child, but it was a cyborg or a robot, what they called it on the show. Her name was Vicky, I think. And she was Small Wonder. Because like in my head, the vision of the show is like this little girl and this little, what you would think a little girl wearing, like a frilly dress in the 80s. It was red and white. But I remember since she was a robot, like he built her. So he like had to put all our parts together, and he was asking the mother something. I'm going back to the vision in my head, and he like pulls her hair up. She's just bald. She's a little bald kid, because it's not a kid. She's a robot. Come on, keep up. We already said that she's a robot. That's what I remembered. So of course I had to go to the YouTube. This is a tip. If you want to watch, if you remember Small Wonder and you want to have a good like nostalgic day, I think all the episodes are on YouTube. It's at like 2 or 3 seasons or 4 or 5. I don't know. But I watched like the first episode and it's wow. That did happen in the first episode. Like also the thing that made me remember, he would like, if he was trying to tell, like when he first introduced his family to the robot, like he showed her back, and that's where like you open it up and all the wires were. That felt like a very 80s thing. So I remember like those teddy bears you would get that would talk to you, like Teddy Ruxpin and all that, in the back. That's where like the tape went. I was like, it's an 80s thing. Talking little things. But yeah, I watched the first episode and it made me think like, this is what I want to ask chatbot to do, because I thought of other shows. Thought of Alf, which is kind of in the same area. Alf was an alien that landed and the family had to keep them secret. I thought of older ones like Mork and Mindy. I guess that'd be the 70s. And really old ones like Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie. And I was looking up, like I went on IMDb and I was trying to remember more. Because there has to be more. Like I needed more examples of stuff maybe I didn't remember. This is the ones I remembered, or I was like, oh yeah, those sound familiar when I looked them up IMDb. Dinosaurs, which was a TGIF show where it was just it was set in a fictional, dinosaur area. It was a family sitcom, but everybody was dinosaurs. Family Matters. I was like, yeah, Steve Urkel did clone himself. He did invent like a robot and would do all these things. Oh, he invented a teleporter. So Family Matters, I guess you could say, is sci-fi. That's like a straight up, it's a family sitcom. Then all of a sudden it went down the weird sci-fi route. The Secret World of Alex and Mac. That was another one that came up. I didn't have cable growing up, so I have no idea what that show is. And Third Rock from the Sun, obviously. And the one that made me really remember like a specific memory from a show, Homeboys in Outer Space. Do yourself a great service and just look up Homeboys from Outer Space if you're too young to know what that is already. But one popped up that I had never heard of. I mean, in the history of shows, there's probably lots of shows I've never heard of. But it said this show came out in 1996. I couldn't find like it was on cable, or a lot of shows that are on cable I missed too because I grew up without cable. But it looked like a network TV show. It was called Aliens in the Family. I have never heard of this show, seen anything from it or anything. And this is like 96, so I'm old enough to remember that time, like all the things that were going on in the late 90s. I've never heard of this show. That's like the only thing I think. Maybe it was on cable. Maybe it was just a pilot and that was it. But it was like in the intro credits, there was like a cartoon that showed what happened. A guy got kidnapped by a flying saucer. He met an attractive alien woman. They got married, have kids. And the show, sorry, you can hear my phone beeping. And the show was just that. It's just like a family sitcom. There's seems like two or three regular kids and human kids. And there's two other kids, or three, because it was a baby, that are aliens. So it's just like a mix. It's kind of like Brady Bunch or whatever one. But not kind of like Brady Bunch because nobody was divorced. But I don't know. Like a mixed up family. So it's half aliens, half humans. And they're all quirky and they get along like a family. So back to what I was saying. Me and Chatbot. We're going to create a show like these old Sci-Fi Family. I guess the Munsters also too. The Munsters, that's really old. And Addams Family. That'd be another one. But I don't know if you separate horror and sci-fi. I think they go hand in hand, so that would fit. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask Chatbot. So this is the prompt that I gave the OpenAI Chatbot. Write a synopsis for a popular science fiction family sitcom that would have been made in the 1980s USA. And this is what Chatbot spit out. The title they gave me are Cosmic Capers. Synopsis. Cosmic Capers is a zany science fiction family sitcom set in the 1980s America, following the antics of the Johnson family as they navigate life with their unexpected alien house guests, Zog. Zog sounds like was used for something in the 90s, like a 90s alien. Okay. The Johnsons is a typical suburban family consisting of the quirky father, Bob, who works as an accountant, the loving mother, Susan, who is a stay-at-home mom, and their two kids, teenage daughter Lisa, and preteen son, Timmy. Their lives are turned upside down when an alien spaceship crash lands into their backyard, and out emerges Zog, a clumsy but lovable extraterrestrial from the planet Zogar. Come on. His name is Zog and he's from Sogar. Come on, chatbot. What are you doing? Okay. Despite their initial shock, the Johnsons quickly take Zog in and treat him as a member of the family. Oh, Harry and the Hendersons. That was another. I'll say that was a Sci-Fi Family show. Harry and the Hendersons, also a movie too. Okay. However, keeping Zog's presence as a secret from the neighbors and the rest of the world proves to be a challenge, as he possesses a unique ability to shapeshift into various objects, often leading to the hilarious, absurd situations. Each episode of Cosmic Capers features the Johnsons' attempt to help Zog adapt to life on Earth while dealing with his frequent mishaps, including alien transforming into household appliances or pets, getting into trouble at school. How is he? He's just in school. He's an alien in school, and attracting attention from the. Whoa! I missed this part when I first read it. And attracting attention from the Men in Black who are determined to capture him. Okay. When I first wrote it earlier, getting ready for this episode, I did not see that part. Like, I must have not scrolled down. I missed that entire section when I was first reading it. I was reading it just now, and I saw Men in Black, and my brain put it backwards, and I read it as Zog was running from black men, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It is too soon for this chatbot to be throwing in racial things. Calm down, chatbot. It's only like the second question I've asked you. But it's Men in Black. I had to stop. That was like, whoa. Chatbot, what are you going to do to me? Okay. Chatbot isn't racist yet. We're good. Men in Black. Men in Black. Okay. As the Johnsons work to protect Zog's secret, they also learn valuable lessons about family, friendship, and acceptance. Along the way, they encounter other quirky characters, including the nosy neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, who is suspicious of the family and their strange behavior, and Timmy's best friend, Benny, who's also eager to get into intergalactic adventures. With its blend of science fiction, slapstick humor, and heartwarming family moment, Cosmic Capers becomes a beloved sitcom, capturing the imagination of audience of all ages, as they join the Johnsons in this out-of-a-world adventure while navigating the challenges of everyday life. That was so lame. That's Alf, which I mentioned already. At least they didn't say Zog eats cats. There's Alf. Like I said, that was 80s. It also seems, they said Men in Black, which... that was a movie. They're just taking it straight from that. They couldn't even rename it to another made-up organization, Men in Black. And it's funny, they say their nosy neighbor, Miss Jenkins, because when I was watching Small Wonder, that first episode, there's the iconic nosy neighbor, and it's this little girl with these did she have red bangs? Oh, she had bangs and pigtails. She looks like a robot. She looks like a cyborg. And there was scenes, it's the 80s, how they shot shows. There's a scene with the kids there's a little boy in the family, and he's talking to Small Wonder, Vicky, in his bedroom about something. And the nosy neighbor, the little girl, is just looking through the window. Imagine, and he doesn't know it, of course. Imagine you sitting in the bedroom and someone's looking in your window, how obvious that would be in the middle of the day, and you just don't notice. It's so weird. But yeah, that's in every generic family sitcom, the weird neighbor. Like I said, in Family Matters was a normal sitcom, and all of a sudden Steve Urkel got popular, and then he would start cloning himself and building robots. Even though when I was a kid, TGIF, that series, a couple of series arcs when Steve Urkel built a robot. I think what I remember, he was a cop. He built it for the police to help Carl, because Carl was a cop. That's what I remember. But I loved that as a kid. That was the craziest and funniest thing to me. When Steve Urkel became Stefan, he cloned himself. Oh no, he changed his genes or something. I don't know. That show became sci-fi in a weird way, but it's still a lovable family sitcom. But yeah, this is so basic. I need to figure out how I can phrase a question to the chat bot to get something more specific. Not so like give generic answers. Because this is the most generic. This is like all the shows I looked up. It probably just looked up like the synopsis of those on like IMDb or Wikipedia and just did this. Which I guess that's what chatbot does. It searches through some kind of database for hits, of course, that relate to the words in the question I asked. But this is like super basic. So I wonder how I can phrase a question or I don't know how you can word that. A task or a command or whatever. Like it gets something more specific. Or, let's do a live one. So that was the one that just kicked out a few minutes ago. I'm going to give it a thumbs down. No, that's like saying if it was harmful. No, no. I was just like, if you can rate them. But like, so this is what I did earlier before starting the show. I just realized that you can like hit a refresh button and regenerate. It says regenerate response. So we're gonna do a live regenerate response. See what it comes up with. Because that one was so basic. Okay, remember when I made my mistake earlier and I was like, oh, chatbot hasn't become racist yet, thank goodness. Because I'm looking at it, typing out this show. Okay, let me scroll back up. And the chatbot created it's the same thing I asked them to do, same command. And this is the title of the show they just created. The Astro Adventures of the Cosmo Clan. Now I'm about to read it for the first time. I'm gonna figure out which clan they're talking about. If it's the wrong clan, I'm gonna have to find another chatbot. This one got racist too fast. Okay, so the synopsis. Here we go. We're reading it live. It just says the title again. Is a popular science fiction family sitcom set in the 80s America, which same thing it did last time. The misadventures of the Cosmo family who live in a small suburban neighborhood. The Cosmos family is an ordinary American family, but with a quirky twist. They're aliens for the planet Zog, disguised as humans trying to blend in with their human neighbors, which is just third rock from the sun. Okay, Zog again. The Cosmos family consists of Zog. Zog makes another return. I couldn't even come up with another random alien name. I clicked some button. Okay. The bumbling and lovable dad who works as an accountant try to help his... on the last one? Wasn't the father an accountant? Probably. Okay. Lovable accountant, bubbly dad. Yeah. Stella. The witty and resourceful mom who runs a flower shop and gets caught in the chaos caused by her family's alien abilities, and 3 children. Max, the mischievous and curious teenager who loves tinkering with gadgets. Luna, the precocious and adventurous preteen who dreams of becoming an astronaut. And Cosmo, the youngest member of the family who has telepathic powers, gets in all sorts of trouble. Then it goes on, they face the challenges that they have to navigate. That's all I was talking about, navigating the challenges. Challenges of normal human life. Sorry if you can hear my phone. I need to throw it across the room. Yeah, they have to navigate human life, school, and work and relationships. They've often find themselves in hilarious situations. Third Rock from the Sun, Alf. I can see that. Maybe some E.T. thrown in. And the last one, there was some E.T. with the spaceship crashing. The nosy neighbor is Miss Jenkins again. Max has a crush of a girl next door. So that's like reverse Family Matters, because Steve Urkel was in love with Laura. They learn a valuable lesson about family, friendship, and acceptance. Chatbot. Okay. So I'm going to have to... Maybe it's like a write-up online I can learn. I could read up and figure out how to ask like more specific. That's even still basic. Like I said, it's Family Matters. It's Third Rock from the Sun. Okay, and Alf too. So I think they kept trying to. They had to hide Alf. I don't remember how they found Alf. I can't remember. But yeah. So that was my idea for a Sci-Fi Family sitcom. Maybe on the next one I'll try to get more specific and think I'll do the prompt of horror themed family sitcom like The Munsters, Addams Family, maybe even like I Dream of Jeannie. Also a newer one that's one of my personal favorites. What We Do in the Shadows, which was a movie, but it's an amazing show. They're vampires living in Long Island or Rhode Island or somewhere. It's amazing. That reminds me, I need to get back on Hulu. I canceled Hulu. And it's on FX, which is on Hulu. That show was so good. And it, like his familiar, one of the main vampires, familiar, is a descendant of Van Helsing. So it's amazing. They get into quirky adventures that are super bloody. But yeah, so I'll do like a horror, instead of sci-fi, I'll do horror family sitcom. Also Harry and the Hendersons, which was amazing. If you're too young, look up Harry and the Hendersons. That's how weird 90s shows got, and movies. But yeah, that's where my mind went this week. I don't know where my mind will go again for this next one. Like I said, the horror one. Maybe something else will come up. I'll get another prompt. I'll see something random on YouTube and it'll take me down a rabbit hole. Not go down on... Take me down a rabbit hole of weird stuff that'll get something new in my head. But thanks for listening, guys. It's just me and Chatbot getting along, making shows. Yeah. So the song that played at the beginning was a song. It was like alien noise song that I found. It's called Tabula Rasa by Waste Disposal Machine versus Sci-Fi Industries. Perfect name for a band. They were used free because I'm all about that free with attribution. And there's your attribution. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you catch me next week if I remember to do this show.